going to face some really tough times. And he was right. So I shoved this in my desk. I had my 2-week notice written and shoved it in my desk. And I held on to it until 2010.
Welcome to another episode of Thrive Forward, Building Inclusive Success with FOBI. I'm Ana Gonzalez, your host. I'm also the director of the Family-Owned Business Institute at Grand Valley State University. We are doing this podcast because we want to celebrate family businesses in Grand Rapids, Michigan. We want to understand where their success comes from and maybe their struggles through their journey. So we invite family business leaders from the region to share their stories with us. Joining us today is John Mulder. John is president and partner of Master Finish Company. This is a high-value metal finisher that serves OEM manufacturers and a third-generation family business from the region. John, thank you very much for being here and for joining us for this effort. So before we start talking about Master Finish, I have a bunch of questions about it. Tell us a little bit about you. I mean, I think you grew up in this community.
Yeah, I grew up in Kentwood with my father and mother and a younger brother and younger sister. I went to East Kentwood High School and from there went to Grand Rapids Community College for a few years and transferred to Western Michigan University where I got my manufacturing engineering degree.
So, of course, Master Finish makes sense there, right? Did you start working there?
No,
you didn't? How come?
I was fiercely independent in my youth. And I certainly wanted to create my own path. So, I studied plastics and I studied engineering, and I spent about 10 years of my career outside of the family business before I decided to
10 years?
To join. Yeah.
Wow. So working at the family business was not an option at the beginning for you in your mind, I guess? Or your dad told you, go work someplace else?
I think it was always an option. It was always something that could have been considered. I guess I always felt like maybe it was going to be my fallback. But then I thought at some point in my career, I had hit a point where there was really nowhere for me to progress. Mm-hmm. I felt like I was spinning my wheels. Mm-hmm. I felt like my talents weren't being used the best that they could be. And so I decided I better give this family business thing a shot. In 2008, both GM and Chrysler both declared bankruptcy, and those were the biggest customers of our company.
So what happened?
So as I'm about to put in my notice at my company, my father gives me a call 2 days before I turned my notice in and says, "Why don't you hold on to that for a while? I think we're gonna face some really tough times." And he was right. So I shoved this in my desk. I had my 2-week notice written and shoved it in my desk, and I held on to it until 2010. So I worked 2 years after I thought I was going to start.
Wow. So but wait.
And during that time, they had to reduce the workload from 115 people down to 54 people, laying off a whole bunch of people and trying to figure out how to restructure the business to right itself again. So I didn't get the opportunity to do that, but if I would have come in at a time where they were laying others off,
it would have been, it makes complete sense.
Respect from the team.
Can you tell us, please, what Master Finish does?
Yeah, so Master Finish does a process called chrome plating. Mm-hmm. And chrome plating is a coating that you put on top of a part to protect it from rust, corrosion, and it gives it a bright, shiny finish. And so automotive parts like door handles and roof rails and sometimes the trim around windows and tow hooks and bumpers and operator controls like gear shift levers and knobs and buttons and controls. Those are all plated or painted or coated in some way to protect them. And so what we do is bright decorative chrome plating. Mm-hmm. We also do a satin chrome very similar to the finish on these microphones here.
Mm-hmm.
We offer a black chrome finish, which is a nice mirror-like black finish.
So it's kind of like the paint, and you do it in your
Yeah, so our customers will make the part, and we'll take the part from its raw produced form and give it the decorative finish. So we're applying a coating on the part.
So they take the stuff to your plant.
Yeah, so we provide a service.
Okay.
Our service is they give us the raw part, we make it look bright and shiny and protect it from rust and corrosion and send it back to them.
And you return them.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then they can send it off to
back.
the next assembly process.
Okay.
Until it goes into a car or an oven or, whatever final device is going to be.
So I have a different question. So you guys inside, so you do like, is that like a paint? Some sort of paint thing?
So electroplating is done in a big tank, and we have an automated plating line that has 95 tanks.
Okay.
And so we have parts that will go in, and they'll go through a special set of tanks for cleaning, whether it's caustic acids or soaks, and then rinses, and then electrified cleaners, and then we're doing deposits of copper, nickel, and chromium. So I started at Master Finish in 2010, and ultimately saw that I'm going from a business that was run in the second generation by 3 family members down to just me, and I wanted someone who would be there with me. Now, I recruited my brother.
Okay, how did that happen?
So, I have a strong plastics and chemical background. My brother has a strong electrical background. He's an electrical engineer, got his training at Purdue University. And so he spent his first few years at Delphi and then Spartan Chassis and Airlift, and developed and worked with those companies before he came to Master Finish. But I recruited him thinking this was an opportunity to have someone who knew the other side of the business well. Ultimately figured out where our strengths lie, and that's a whole nother thing we can get into down the road. But that was the next generation transition, was from my father in that generation to my brother and I.
So you start working with your father in 2010.
Yep.
How did that go? Because I'm sure you love your dad. Your dad loves you, but working together is a whole different thing, right?
It is. And it's strange how when you are working at a company where you don't have family, you think about how it's like, this is the job. I go in, I do that, and I leave, and it's done. Right.
Right.
But when you're working with family, it's on your holidays you talk about work. It's on the weekends when you're spending time with the family that you're talking about work. But ultimately, like, working with people that you love and trust is priceless. And so if you find the right way to do it, and think through it, and plan as much as you can in advance for the disagreements that will come up and how you want to handle them, it's so rewarding.
So how has it been working with your brother? You're now a siblings partnership, even though you're a third generation. Family, you're a sibling partnership, right? So how does it work?
It's good. Yeah, it's good. Well, for the most part, we agree.
You seem to be complementing each other.
Absolutely. We certainly have, because of EOS and some of the framework, we certainly have the same vision. Right? We're all trying to get the same way, to the same point. We have different tacts on how we want to get there, and so sometimes we have to have some good discussions over which way will work to get us there. But ultimately, we're all heading in the same direction, which makes it easier.
Right. So I'm assuming, of course, so sometimes how do you get to a decision if you guys disagree, or do you work things out until you're both on the same page and then you go and make the decision? Does that make sense?
Yeah. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
So because we're using EOS, we
Right.
have a leadership team of 6 people.
Okay, so it's not just the two of you?
Yeah, it's not just the two of us.
Okay.
Yeah, so we've got someone who is our operations manager,
Mm-hmm.
our accounting controller,
Mm-hmm.
and quality manager, and now our HR generalists, who are all sitting on our leadership team meetings.
Mm-hmm.
And so every week we have an hour and a half to buzz by them any ideas we
The
have.
leadership team's meeting.
and ultimately, with 6 of us, it could become a 3-3 split vote.
Uh-huh.
But it hasn't happened yet. So,
Okay.
and if it does, we do have a plan for that too.
You do?
Yeah, we do.
Okay.
We have some good trusted advisors we can go to.
Your dad left in 2019.
Yeah.
And then it's 2020. We all remember 2020, COVID.
Yeah.
What happened then? I bet that was
Yeah.
a rough
here's
year, right?
Here's
It was for all of us.
We were. I mean, 2017 and 2018 were the 2 best years I had seen at the company. And from that point, I think I was trying to explain, but we had grown very well every year, and I thought this thing was unstoppable.
Yeah.
COVID showed me like our first rough patch, right? Our business declined significantly. I mean, we were told to shut down.
Right.
We shut down completely for 2 weeks, and ultimately had 17 of our customers say that we were essential for their supply chain. And there were people that were in food packaging. There were people we're in the vehicle market, but they're making emergency vehicles, right? So they're making ambulances and fire trucks and fire engines and out of the certain vehicles that we were producing parts for.
Oh, so you were able to open or stay?
So we were able to open up our doors,
okay.
and we were able to get our team back in to run those parts. We were able to apply for the PPP loans,
right?
and all of that kind of stuff. We were able to figure out how to get our team well taken care of, because it was, I mean, a lot harder for a team of manufacturing shop floor employees than it is for a couple executives sitting in a corner.
Yeah, it was different.
When your paycheck gets affected like that. So we made every business decision we could to benefit our team. And that involved, doing work share programs, which were, they were working part-time but getting a stipend from the government and being paid for the time that they were working as essential workers in our shop. And it was a time of just great confusion, trying to figure out how do we do what is best this week, because what was best last week is different now.
I heard that a lot about COVID. Yeah. Ultimately,
it was just that it was like so many of our initiatives were idled. So many of the things that we wanted to do to grow the business were idled.
Right.
And then we came out of COVID, being in the automotive world, with a whole nother hurdle of supply chain issues. Right. So it wasn't just the year where they closed the world down. It was the 2 years after that where we had supply chain issues and disruptions and dock closures and trucking strikes and port strikes and shipping cargo container prices quadrupling and more, and just the chaos of humongous inflation because of costs that have been changed all over the place. And so it was years of just confusion and unsettled and unrest and unknowing, and I still to this day don't really trust a lot of the forecasts we get from customers,
Right.
because there's just not the stable economic drivers that we had pre-COVID.
Right, like you cannot make the same assumptions to make decisions. You have to, wow.
So,
Ralph.
You have it's a different market. Different market now.
Yeah, different context completely.
Mm-hmm.
So, looking back, what are some of the key lessons you have learned as a family business leader?
Over the years, I've learned that the industry we serve and the community we serve is much smaller than I originally thought. Even in the context of we've gone from serving just manufacturing companies in West Michigan to serving companies globally.
Okay.
But the people who need and use our services, chrome plating services, that need it for exterior grade automotive or need special decorative satin nickels and black chromes, that community is small. And I think it's so important to step carefully through every relationship you have with customers, because there's not a wide swath of customers out there for the market.
Oh.
And so keeping your reputation as intact and as a quality service provider in our market is so important.
So my last question, I've been asking these questions to all my guests. So if I ask you to think in 3 words what makes the family business community of this region special, which words would you choose?
Okay, my 3 words. Collaboration. And collaboration is working with others in the community, others in your industry. Big business, corporate America is so competitive. And family businesses get such an edge off of that by working with and learning from others' mistakes and sharing experiences that you have with others in your industry or even not in your industry at all, but other family businesses. So things like being part of the Family Business Alliance, which we've talked about a few times. Sharing and brainstorming ideas with peers who are other business owners really saves our bacon a lot. We can sure step out and do dumb things because we're human. It just makes sense to collaborate wherever you can. So collaboration. I think that's a key to success in family business. I think family businesses are more long-term focused. Corporate America focusing on quarterly profit earning statements and quarterly revenue and those types of things, where we're looking and planning 5 to 10 years down the road on where we want our company to be, who we want to be, and why we want to get there. The month to month is not our focus. And the results are looking backwards while we're looking forwards.
Long term. Okay. Collaboration, long term. Last one.
Service.
Okay.
And again, I think we've kind of beat this one to death a little bit today, but
this is a different context, so please elaborate on that one.
I think again, service. As a family business, most of them are putting their name on the wall, right? We didn't choose to do that, but most of them put their name on the wall. When you put your name on the wall, you take pride in that a little bit more than you would as being part of something else. And I think that pride extends out into the community, where you're going to do the extra thing that helps your neighbor, that works with the community, that builds trust and builds a foundation and roots into a community that you don't necessarily get from corporate America.
It's not just about the money.
Not just about the money. Yeah, that's for sure.
Well, I think you just defined family businesses. Thank you very much, John.
No, thank you. This has been
Thank
fun.
you.